Jump back on here real quick because I had a lot of you guys that were asking, was I, going live still? Because of course I planned on going live for about an hour. The people had to come in to real quick to check the fire alarm stuff, and they did send us a message. I forgot. But anyways, so we're going to get back into this really, really quickly. For those of you who are watching on Instagram, if you can't hear me all the way clearly, I'm going to work on, I had a microphone that's supposed to be connecting to the phone, but it's not working. So I'll work on, see, I had bought this microphone that goes to the iPhone, but it's not working really well at all. It's never have for the iPhone. So we'll worry about that at another time. But I am streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube. So if you want to hear me on Facebook and YouTube, just search Vision Avant on Facebook or search Vision Avant on YouTube, and you can hear everything clearly. Okay, so we're going to get started into this live training real quick. I'm reviewing some more books. Hold up to here. Search Vision Avant on Facebook or YouTube. All right. Because I am going to get into this. All right. So what we were doing before I was disrupted prior to reviewing is I had just opened up this book right here, which is the Parenting Guidance Uncensored by David Lee, the author. Parenting Guidance Uncensored by David Lee, the author. So the first thing that I see is I do see this image of what looks to be like I don't know. Is this a judge or something in the middle? I see people with different professions. Looks like a young man that wants to be a football player. A young man painting a picture. So I'm not really sure what's going on with the cover or what it's about. It says Parental Guidance Uncensored, Conversations in Rhyme. So I'm assuming this must be like a poetry book or some sort, which is cool. Yeah, it's a poetry book. So I don't really review poetry books. I review more so how-to books. If you are here to help people to be better at parenting, I would definitely recommend including some instruction and using poetry as a source for you when you get booked to speak, right? So I'm assuming that's what it is. There's some great poems in here. I would even say, it says conversations in rhyme. I might even say ways to parent better, written in the rhythm format or something like that. So like what if that's what these poems are for, I would maybe add that to the cover. Now, no shade, no tea. It doesn't look like we spent a lot of money on the cover. I would love to see a cover that has just the quality of the print as far as the words and everything like that. Maybe you kind of utilized one of the softwares to create it. This is a great first start, but I would definitely encourage you that you want to be, you want to invest in some money in a cover designer that actually connects to marketing and things of that nature, right? So this cover, it's okay, but I don't know how serious I would take someone, especially if you want to leverage this book to speak on more stages, if you want to sell this. Now, I would also encourage you maybe to add a little bit more content to this. It's I'm not a big person on content as far as content for fluff, but I would put a little bit more work. It's a pretty small book. And so, you definitely want to do that. Maybe even adding, like, for example, your poems that you have in here, maybe adding some context to why you decided to write the poem. Like, okay, this poem, I wrote this poem because I was going through XYZ, thus and that. Like, I would add something to it. Another thing that I noticed as well inside is that your poem, everything is in all caps, right? So personally, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it to be in all caps. It just doesn't look as professional if you just used regular font. So I wouldn't want it to be in all caps. I would highly recommend to kind of fix that so that it can align better. And then I do see that you have justified left alignment. For poetry, sometimes I like to center align so it looks a little bit better on the page. But one thing I would definitely encourage is maybe add some context to each one of your poems. So tell the reader, hey, I wrote this poem because at this point I was doing this. In this poem, you're going to learn XYZ, thus and that. Give them some more context other than just poetry. Add an introduction, add a conclusion to your book. Why did you decide to come up with this book? Like, people like to buy stuff as well when they have a connection to the origination, right? So if you ever pay attention, like, for example, like when a beer company will tell you like, this is when we established our company, our family created this line and things of that nature. And so the reason why you want to have like an introduction to your book is because you also want to establish the purpose and why you decided to write this book. Like, who is this book supposed to help? So you don't have an intro, I don't think. I would definitely want to encourage that. You know, you want to tell the person, look, the reason why I wrote this book is because of this. So don't just go straight into the poems. Give some understanding, clarity, etc., etc. And then for each poem, I would most highly recommend also talk about where were you at in this point. Like, let people to, relate to you. So now they have a deeper connection to you when it comes to this poem, right? Now, the back cover has an image. I assume this is an image of you. I would recommend, guys, when we are doing these books, if we want, again, people to take us seriously in this authorpreneur world or this book profitpreneur world, we want to go and get professional pictures taken, right? So this is a great picture of you. I love it, but I would love to see something professional. It doesn't mean that you have to be suited and booted, but you do want to have someone that has a high resolution camera. I'd recommend it be in a solid color background, or if you're going to have a dope background and stuff, make sure that is incorporated in the actual cover itself, but it needs to be high resolution. Even when I'm looking at just the font itself, it's not high resolution. And also the font, I don't recommend this font. I can't remember what the name of this font is, but it looks like I think it's Comic Sans. It looks like Comic Sans. Especially, you want it to be more of a font that is strong, that's powerful, especially since we're talking about parental guiding. So I would definitely recommend updating this font. I would even also, again, I always talk about this on the back cover, having qualifier questions. So qualifying the reader. The reason why somebody's going to buy this book is because they're looking for whatever this book is going to help them with. So I might say, hey, listen, are you a parent and you want to learn different ways? Like, what is the purpose of the parental guidance, right? Uncensored. Like, what are you teaching in these poems, or what are these poems supposed to inspire someone to do? So I would start off with those qualifier questions. Where you said anticipated second book by David Lee, the author, The Black Truth Behind White Lies. I love that you have that in here, but I'm going to tell you, I would write things as though they are, not as though they have not. So I don't like to write anything in the book like, coming soon. I always like to say, second edition is, even if it's not done, because somebody's going to buy this book. And, when they buy this book 2 years from now or 5 years from now, is it still going to be relative or relevant 5 years from now? No, because you're going to already have the book out. So I don't. Now, unless you plan on re-releasing it, but I honestly like to try to keep my books as forever green as possible. So, for example, like if you're working on getting your doctorates, right? Well, if either you got the doctorates or you don't, and if you're going to get it, then say doctor, etc. But if not yet, then I wouldn't even say, or make sure you say at the time of me writing this book, I am working on getting XYZ, but make sure that you want to do your best to try to keep your information as forever green. Cover design. So I see the cover design and artwork. So whoever did this artwork, I want to have an explanation about this artwork too, right? So I see that it is some custom artwork. What I would even do is, because I see that you have, who did it, no shade and tea. Listen, I'm just trying to help y'all sell more books. Listen, I would have an explanation as to what this means, right? So on the back cover or on the front, like, explain what this image is about, because I'm looking at it and I just see different people with different positions, and I see a black hand. I don't know what it is. I don't know if this is a tree. I don't know. So I want to have an understanding of this. And so in this image, I had this image drawn. Explain to people. Like, don't make people try to figure these things out, right? Another thing is your contact information. So make sure, guys, yes, and y'all know I recommend selling books for $20. So I don't like to sell them less than $20. But I recommend And you need to have a website where people can go to purchase your book, or have your social media. Guys, this is valuable resources that you need to make sure are listed on your cover. This is real estate. So every single time, guys, when you print a book, you got to make sure that people have a way to contact you, okay? Because if they pick this book up from somebody else that owns it, they need to have a way to get in touch with you, all right? So make sure that that cover explains to individuals how to purchase your book. All right. So let's go into another book right here. Custom Packaging, Inspired Boss. Custom Packaging. Okay. Very good. Very good. I can already feel the cover feels nice. And so this is Kay Johnson. Kay was actually a speaker at one of our events. Look at this cover. Beginner's Vibe Guide. Yes, honey. Professional, high resolution picture. I can tell she spent money on this cover. It says The Millennial Success Map, Walking in Purpose Before Your 30s. Love the title. Like, I love this title. It has a title that is catchy, Beginner's Vibe Guide. And then that's very catchy and connecting to millennials as far as the vernacular and the language. And then The Millennial Success Map, Walking into Purpose Before Your 30s. I love that, right? And so now on the back cover, and she has faded flowers. Now, what I will say is, I don't know what the flowers have to do, unless you just love flowers or that's a part of your brand case. So if flowers is a part of your brand, like you always have flowers with you, cool. But if not, it's not necessarily needed. You could have had just you with this purple to gold. We didn't need to have that, or maybe have something faded that looks like success, right? So, not sure what the flowers are. It looks great, but it's not necessarily needed unless it's a part of the brand. Now, the back cover, again, I recommend starting off with qualifier questions. Y'all gonna hear me say this all the time. You got to connect to that person immediately. And this is not really, you're not connecting to the reader. You're not connecting to the reader. You're connecting to the clients, right? Remember, the reason why people buy how-to instructional based books is because they want a transformation. So the faster you connect to them, the more opportunities that you have to be able to work with them further. So I'm going to immediately ask you questions. Are you a millennial? Yes, right? It says millennial success map, right? Or you could even say something like this: were you born between the years of XYZ and XYZ? Because some people don't know if they're millennials, right? And then you say, do you feel like you're not living up to your full potential? Yeah, I do feel like that, right? Do you want to know the simple success tips on how to get that done? Yes, I want to know. I typically say get them into 3 yeses. Yes, yes, yes. This book is for you, right? And so then you go into explaining the bio and stuff like that. Now, I do love the fact that Kay has broken it up. I love the fact that Kay also has, different font colors and stuff like this. However, I am not the biggest fan of putting cursive on covers because sometimes they are hard to read. Now, this cursive is not too bad. I can read it, so it's not too bad. But be very, very careful, guys, when you do put cursive, that it's easy to read, right? So good thing she did find a cursive that's not as confusing. I will say this font, though, it's all caps. So I also don't like to put everything in all caps, right? My back covers, I don't like them to be all caps. I like to have them to have lowercase and uppercase, right? You see this? Lowercase and uppercase, lowercase and uppercase. So we don't want to have all caps on our back cover. So what I would recommend is maybe redo it. Don't have all the caps. The words that you want to stand out, yes, you can maybe put those in caps, or keep this font that you do have. But I would recommend lowercasing it out. Think about it. And then she says, your giant reveals your purpose. So I do like that. Now, a little bit that I will say, because of the flowers that are on the back cover, it does kind of little bit make it very difficult. Not very, but make it a little bit more difficult to read. And so you don't want to, make it difficult for people that do have to strain to see something, or maybe, whatever. So I would recommend to figure out a way to make it pop. So like right here where there's the flowers, if you're going to keep it, maybe add a box, like a dark box, so that people can read this font, right? So very, very careful about that. If you notice, like even on my cover, I will add in different backgrounds so that you can read the font. This is so important. Listen, I rather have I'd rather have simplicity over complexity when it comes to a cover. I want people to easily be able to read what the promises are being made on the cover versus it looking, beautiful, right? It's the back cover is this very important. It's all about the content on the back cover, right? So that's important. Now she does have her website as well as the copyright. So that's cool. And maybe even adding in some social media, things of that nature, right? So just to show y'all my back cover, you see I have the website, register for free masterclass. By the way, my masterclass actually sends people to my free website and then free website for free information, which is 10kbook.com. And then on the next page, they're given the option if they wish to upsell or upgrade to purchase my book. So now what I do whenever somebody wants to get a copy of my book, whenever somebody wants to get in contact with me, no matter what, I send everybody to the same page. Like I do not send people to different stuff. Somebody wants to know what's my social media, 10kbook.com. Somebody wants to know how can we get in touch with you and talk to you, 10kbook.com. How can we buy your book, 10kbook.com. So I literally have one website that I send everybody to, which is a free giveaway, because the most valuable asset that you can have when you are out here as an author is not somebody that bought your book. It's building up your database. And where I find many entrepreneurs are dropping the ball is in any space, no matter if you're an author, speaker, coach, entrepreneur, business owner, career, you're trying to climb the ladder, is they're not building their databases. Guys, social media following is not building your database. Having followers and friends and likes and comments is not building your database. And so I'm sending now, this book I wrote back in 2012, but I've updated it so that the website that people go to is to my free masterclass. Period. On period. Okay. Let me see. I got time for one more review and then I got to go. I actually have a team call for a conference that we have coming up. Oh, I don't know what this is. All right. I don't know. Okay. So I guess these are pocket planner memoirs. And I tore the letter in half. Lord Jesus. Let me see. I tore the letter in half. My bad. Here we go. All right. Okay. So, hi. 20 years old. 20 years old. Here, published author, written. Okay, I'll read that in a minute. That probably just messed up my audio on Instagram. Pretty sure it did. Y'all can't hear me no more, can y'all? Okay, so these are some pocket memoirs. Never seen these before. These is pretty slick, pretty innovative. Pretty sure y'all can't hear me no more. Let me see. Yeah, that messed up. Pretty slick, pretty innovative. These pocket memoirs right here, y'all. Pretty cute. Too small. Pretty too small. So I'm sure that I haven't had a chance to read the full letter, so I'm gonna read to see and find out. But it's, to me, if I was to look at this, I'm looking at this as an opportunity to just kind of get the words out, but it's very, very small. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. This is because, let me see here. Memoirs, historical venture philosophy, distractful. Thank you for reviewing. So it's a little small. I'm gonna do my best to review. So of course, I don't know what the limitations are with this particular person, because I know that I do have a lot of people. Lord, I gotta go. I'm gonna review this on another broadcast. I'll review this on another broadcast. Good. I do have to go because I have a team call. But I definitely want to plug into this. And this memoir, this is a pocket-sized memoir. I would assume this is a start to the memoir. So we'll get into that on a next review. Thank you guys for being here. Again, if you want to send me a copy of your book to review, I review how-to instructional-based books. That's the space that I'm in, because that's where I actually help people to write those books and teach them how to turn those books into profitable businesses. Okay, so that's where I'm at, guys. If you have a how-to book, if you want to leverage your book for public speaking, if you want to leverage your book for coaching, if you want to leverage your book to build your business, okay, those are the style of books that I'm best at reviewing, okay, that I can give you the best critiques. So send me your book. My PO P.O. Box, I'll type that in real quick, is going to be P.O. Box 11662, and that's Atlanta, Georgia, and the zip is 30355. So P.O. Box 11662, Atlanta, Georgia 30355, should you want to send me a copy of your book. And other than that, y'all, it's been a privilege and a pleasure. I am looking forward to reviewing and reading this message first, just to make sure I understand, because I know a lot of people who are in a disadvantaged situation, whether they are serving some time. And so anybody that is serving time that's watching this, first of all, if you are working on your book and you're putting it together and using the resources that you have, I am very, very proud of you. And I want to, be able to see you be able to get this to the next level. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. May you have a wonderful, blessed day. And until then, y'all be blessed. Deuces.